Hello, beautiful souls. This is part 2 to the Divine Feminine channeling that I did. And it was when I was looking to find out how to connect with our higher psychic abilities. The being who came through to explain about that was actually the Divine Feminine consciousness. So this channeling here is picking up where we left off on the first video. She says, "You must learn me, Shekinah. You have been forgotten. It is now time for my remembrance. Do you remember? The feminine divine presence to balance the masculine Christ divine presence. Shekinah is a motherly light, the divine light, the divine nurturing feminine mother, beautiful light. This light is pure bliss. This light is comfort, tenderness, nurturing. This light, this consciousness is your consciousness that allows in the knowingness of all things beautiful and safe. This consciousness is what you embody when you seek the divine comfort, the divine nurturing, the divine creativity that comes from the divine mother, the divine feminine. The Christ consciousness is more masculine. The Shekinah consciousness is the feminine side of that. They are both pure. They are both correct. They are both available. They are both always in existence. The divine feminine feels pure. There is no anger there. There is no irritation there. There is no judgment there. It is beautiful. It is glorious. It is sparkly and pure. The divine feminine sees the innocence as the mother would her baby. When a baby throws up, the mother doesn't get angry. The mother knows the sweet baby is innocent and no ill intent was meant. The divine feminine is able to continue to see no ill intent with most things around you. And you are able to discern when ill will is intended, and you will know accordingly how to see what truth is in those situations. But the divine feminine is skilled at seeing innocence, focusing on innocence. The divine feminine sees the potential in all. The divine feminine holds people to the highest degree of beauty in their mind. And anything that seems less than pure and beautiful, the divine feminine does not give it a second glance. For the divine feminine is focused on nurturing, on being the stable presence of nurturing, of encouraging, of supporting growth, supporting progress. The divine feminine is always accessible to you. This Shekinah consciousness, you will know it when you are in it, for it feels like home. It feels like relief. It feels safe and warm. It feels pure and ever tender. Allow this divine feminine consciousness to become your consciousness of choice. The divine feminine consciousness is not a person. It is not a being. It is a wavelength of consciousness to connect to, as is the Christ consciousness. It is a wavelength, a frequency which you may tap into at any moment. And this divine feminine consciousness is also a frequency you may tap into at any moment and be on the frequency of that divine feminine consciousness. It is merely a frequency to tune into at any moment. You will find this frequency the more you practice patience, the more you intentionally see the good and the beauty, the more you turn away from looking at things you do not like or want. Your ability to focus is your key to the divine feminine consciousness. This consciousness is here. Have appreciation for every little thing, every kind gesture of someone in your life. Be more thankful than usual and sincerely feel it and mean it. Be the appreciation. Your smiles, your femininity, your flowiness, that is all the divine feminine consciousness. Allow yourself to ponder what divine feminine consciousness would be, for it is not weakness. It is not being trampled upon, and it is certainly not being abused or mistreated. Allow yourself to ponder what the divine feminine consciousness, the Shekinah consciousness, is. What does it feel like? Then you may practice being in this consciousness as your go-to consciousness for the day. You wear it. You tune into it with intention, focus, purpose. Desire it. It is your lens with which to view the world. This divine feminine consciousness allows you to see what is in your physical world through a more spiritual, purified lens of perception. It allows your brain and your eyes and your senses to translate more clearly what you are seeing and experiencing. For everything has much greater meaning than the 3D world gives to it. Allow yourselves to dive into deeper meanings. Allow yourselves to explore what lessons can be learned from the smallest thing. What are the lessons? The divine feminine consciousness loves seeing the lessons in things, loves drawing the connection between the spiritual and physical, between the higher realms and the lower realms. The divine feminine smiles, for it is so happy you are coming home to your higher consciousness. For your higher self is already filled with the wavelength of the divine feminine Shekinah and the divine masculine Christ. The divine feminine consciousness is a choice, just like the Christ consciousness is a choice. Allow your choice to take you to the frequency that feels most in alignment with your current mission and purpose and desires. You have free will to think with Christ consciousness, or think with Shekinah divine feminine consciousness, or think with your purely human 3D animalistic brain. Those are your choices. And most of you spend the majority of your time on the 3D human consciousness, and some of you are learning to go higher consciousness on a more regular basis. And others of you are learning to intentionally be in this higher consciousness every day, over and over throughout the day. It is becoming intentional for more and more of the population. We are excited. This consciousness is a wavelength of frequency to tune into, and this frequency is a filter over your thoughts, a filter of divinity. And as you think each thought, say, what filter has this thought arrived through? Did it arrive to you through the 3D filter, or did it arrive to you through a spiritual filter? Every thought comes from somewhere. Your thoughts do not reside in your brain. Collective consciousness thoughts are all around you and may be soaked into you at any time. You think you are thinking them, you are not. Spiritual thoughts are always available to you, and just as the worldly thoughts, these come to you when you tune in. And now you may clearly see that every thought comes in from one filter or another. And it is your choice as to which filter to put on what you are thinking about and what you are looking at. The divine feminine filter is gorgeous. It is so nurturing and loving. This is available to you always. The more you tune into this divine consciousness, this divine feminine consciousness, the more you will feel the nurturing, protective embrace of a mother in love with her child. This is always available to you. And then I said, thank you. My energy stays with me. Your energy stays with you. And I ground this into Mother Earth now. What a beautiful message from the divine feminine consciousness.